7 Remake for the third time, and I will be starting a new game so that you guys do not have to watch me with all my good gear and everything like that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go on normal again. I've beaten this game twice, once on normal, once on hard. I wanted to play the game again. This is a really good game. I figured it would be a good chance for me to try and stream the entire game and try and get myself out there a little bit. I'm a little hesitant about streaming a lot, but figured it'd be a better chance to start. This is actually one of my favorite games, besides like the new God of War and the newer Kingdom Hearts. I've played the original several times over, beat it multiple times, and then waited for this one to come out when I seen stuff about it, and this became one of my favorite games. It looks good, the gameplay is amazing. I'm sure everybody already knows about this game. It's been out for a while now, so I'm sure most people have a good general understanding and have seen this game, seen a bunch about it. I'm really waiting for the next part of this game to come out, because once it does, I'll be having that. Make sure I get that one too, because I want to play that, because where this one left off, I'm not going to spoil too much of it for any viewers I might end up getting that haven't seen this entire game. It's a really good storyline. And if you haven't played the original, you should go back and play the original, or at least watch some videos and find out the original story, because this isn't technically the original story. This is something that happened after the fact of the original story. They kind of wanted to make it like the person went back in time or so because he realized his mistakes and he wanted to fix them, and that's kind of what this game is. It's not exactly like the original, but it has a lot of the gameplay aspect, a lot of the music, everything, all that's just been remade, but the story kind of is the same. This game ended up being one of the best hits for a lot of people, and even though I don't have many viewers, or any viewers at all really, I'm going to try and stream this entire game and do Let's Plays on it to see if I can kind of get out there a little bit and make myself a little known about stuff and try and get bigger on YouTube. It's something I've wanted to do for a few years. It's just kind of been a shy kind of thing for me. I'm not really the biggest on being outgoing and attention on me all the time and stuff like that, and it's kind of, I'm a little reluctant to just be talking to strangers and meeting new people, stuff like that, so it's always been a little bit of a setback for me to start YouTube. Hold on. Okay. Okay. This is how, technically how the first one starts off, the original, but it's played a little bit differently. It's not exactly like this, of course. I love every aspect about this game. The music, the visuals, the combat, the story. But I wanted to make sure I started over from scratch so that you guys didn't see me with all my best gear, because I've already played through on hard mode. I've already beat the game twice now, I think. 3 times maybe. No, I've beat the game twice. Once on normal, once on hard, just to make sure I got most of the stuff. There was some battles that were really hard that near the end of the game that were almost impossible for me to do. Like, I think Bahamut near the end, I'm sure most people understand who that is, but there's a fight near the end with a few summons and a few other machina that are really, really tough, and those I just was not able to do.
You're coming with nice and easy. Don't think so.
Those ended up being extremely hard for me to do, even having most of the best gear in the game that I could have. They were still extremely difficult.
Who the hell?
But I will probably end up trying to go back, and once I go through this again, I might try and do them again, learn some new things, a few new tricks that I might be able to do, and stuff like that. And I will have to read most of this stuff because it's been a little while since I've played this, so I need to relearn stuff. ATB Gauge, okay, I'll be able to use my skills once the ATB Gauge is filled. Yeah, okay. ATB Gauge charges to perform battle commands such as using abilities, magic, okay. Focus thrust. Some of the stuff I get later on is really good, some of the skills and stuff. And that's kind of where I'm waiting to get. That stuff will be nice to have again. Yeah, I'd be able to check my map. Window, move over, character close to it, automatically jump or crouch or perform whatever other action is required. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to manually do stuff, it does stuff for you. I don't have a camera, sadly, but
you got this. Yeah, what he said.
I at least wanted to have a mic and kind of try and connect with my audience a little bit, because I know that'll make for a little bit better of a career in YouTube. I won't say career, but just trying to make it, being able to talk and connect with my audience will be a little bit better. R1 to guard, circle to evade. Successful guard reduces the amount of damage suffered. Okay, so it'll help me charge ATB gauges.
Can't get sweaty. Nope.
Right there, I'm in Punisher mode. I don't think they've told you about Punisher mode just yet, but because I've played this already, I can go ahead and know what I'm doing and what I want to do when I want to do it. I'm also going to attempt to get like 100% run, kind of. I'm gonna make sure I look for all treasures and stuff like that so I can have as much success in the game as I can. Use triangle to open chest or talk to people. Whole world hold, then you need to hold down triangle. Okay, so potions. Okay, potions are useful, but I mean they kinda lose their purpose throughout the game unless you're on hard mode. When you jump to hard mode, You can't use ethers and potions and stuff like that. They take away your item usability. You have to do what I'm about to do right here. If you find boxes with the Shinra logo, press square to smash them with your sword. They may contain useful items such as potions that restore HP or Mako shards that restore MP. This is what you have to do on hard mode. This is the only way to recover MP and stuff like that, which, I mean, is kind of a cool aspect. It makes it really difficult at some parts because you have no magic or anything to do anything, and so it makes it kind of difficult. But being able to smash open the boxes and get MP and stuff like that makes it to where you can use your cure and fire and stuff like that, because if you don't have it when you get to a battle, you're not able to use potions to recover it, you're not able to use MP ethers to recover MP, anything like that, so you kind of get into a stuck, really hard position when not able to use stuff. It makes it kind of difficult. I love the design of the characters. They all fit so well. Cloud's just so, I don't really want to drop my guard around John. This isn't about being friendly. This is just about money. That's it.
You know what I think? Not interested.
He really doesn't care about anyone or anything except for himself at this point in the game. This is all a mission for him. That is it.
Where's?
They kind of have a love-hate relationship
You better be worth the
towards
money, man. Every last year.
the beginning, near middle-ish of this game, because they haven't showed off the second part yet or anything like that. We don't know exactly how things are going to turn out just yet. But near the end of the game, you can really see some great character development and character growth, and that's one of the things I really love about this Final Fantasy remake, was that they really learned how to show off the character development and everything like that, and it's really good. R3 to lock onto a specific target, and R3 to unlock. While locked onto a target, you can use R or the directional to switch between multiple targets. Okay. Does get a little hack and slashy, but I mean, later on you get to a point where, hey, I want to use this move, hey, I want to use this move, hey, I need to use this move, like.
Here we go.
I'm about to do a little counter right here. That comes from being in Punisher mode. Or operator mode. And yeah, it comes from being in Punisher mode and blocking. You automatically get an automatic counter attack.
Nothing to it.
They all run ahead and do their own thing while we focus on the fighting, taking down enemies and stuff like that. They kind of made the combat more of a Kingdom Hearts-ish kind of combat rather than a turn-based style like the original, because the original was a turn-based game. I mean, I'm sure most people know, like, Final Fantasy kind of play style.
This way. Not so fast. We've got company.
I really don't like the dogs. Sometimes they can be a bit of a nuisance. That's why I use Punisher mode for them until I get to this point, and then I can use abilities and do whatever I can to make sure I take them down. Most of the time, fire works really good against them, which I'm pretty sure. From the main menu, you can view inventory, gameplay, and status. Save and load the game. Spells. Yeah, I already have fire, so I could use fire whenever. Let's go ahead and save right here. These are my other two files. Does it tell me? Yeah, see, it does not tell me whether or not it's a normal playthrough or whether or not it's a hard playthrough. But as you can see, one of my playtimes is 79 hours, the other one is 97 hours. I've put a lot of time into this game. I really loved this game when it first came out, and I probably stayed on this game for a few weeks just playing through it over and over again, getting as much of the experience as I could. Okay, so since these ones say chapter selection, that is how you know that I've beaten these ones. I've beat the game twice on both of these modes. Once I do that on this one, it'll have the same thing. Can't activate anything else pretty much at the moment. I do have 2 grenades, which are nice, but I mean, they're not the best thing in the game. Normally, like on my other profile, by the end of the game, I had like 200-300 grenades that I had just saved up. I wasn't using them or anything like that. I had saved them up just because they weren't as useful as just destroying the enemies. I'll go ahead and do this. Show you how strong fire is. Level it up some. I think one of my favorite fights in this was probably near the end. No, it was more of a middle-ish fight when you get to the slums, which you guys will see. But I mean, pretty much this entire game was just really good. There's always something for these people to say. You can talk to them, get a little bit of insight on what they have to say and what their role is in all this. Like why exactly he stayed back there. So now it tells you so you know.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you see a few reactors. So how do we get to the bridge above Mako storage? Ain't holding out on me, are you? Stab scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy?
Yeah, see, Barrett kinda doesn't like him at the moment.
Or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout. Depends when it was built. Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
Barrett's kind of an asshole towards Cloud for a little while because he doesn't believe that Cloud's doing the best he can.
3, 2, damn good.
Who's that? Door! We're waiting! It's over!
That's my line.
Every character has a unique ability you can activate with triangle. With Cloud's mode shift ability, you can switch between his balanced operator mode and his attack-oriented Punisher mode.
He's alone!
In Punisher mode, Cloud moves more slowly, but Square unleashes more powerful in an attack, which allows you to deal with enemies faster, of course. In addition, Cloud launches a counterblow every time he guards against an enemy's melee attack. He cannot, however, guard against ranged attacks or magic. When you evade such attacks, you will switch back to operator mode.
We can take it!
So, evading automatically switches you to the faster operator mode. So if you're in Punisher mode and you just immediately dodge, it'll take you straight back to the normal attack mode. Because I do not have anything yet, I'll go ahead and use this. That's right, I gotta do it this way. But I don't have anything to heal yet except for potions.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
You see Jesse and Cloud's relationship kind of flourish between them a lot more than most people in the game at first. First you see a lot about Jesse and Cloud, which is really nice actually, because it wasn't something they did in the original. In the original, you really didn't see much between any of them.
Looks like the elevator's on another floor. Mind pushing that button?
This game, they kind of amped up everything.
You're Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
He's having a flashback to his friend, who she just talked about. Her name's Tifa. This is, of course, where he grew up, Nibelheim, his hometown with Tifa.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
I will try not to spoil too much, but I'm sure if you guys played the original or know much about the original, and if you guys are watching this, I would assume that you pretty much know the story and stuff like that, because this game has been out for about 2 or 3 years now, so it's not that new. Plus the original's been out for over a decade, so most people that would watch this, I would figure, would know a lot about the story, and this is just kind of a new interpretation.
Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer.
I'll try and stay quiet.
This sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the plant crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
Say that again!
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
Yeah, see, they kind of don't have that good of a relationship at the beginning. But I'll try and stay a little quiet during the cutscenes so you guys can kind of hear what's going on and understand more. I don't want to talk over everything.
You listening, Merc? One false move, and that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach. Just bear with them for me, would you?
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
This is where you get a second party member. Makes it really nice. You're able to switch between the two. Square releases a sustained burst of automatic fire when an equipped ranged weapon bearer can only fire from a safe locations and hit enemies that Cloud cannot reach with his sword.
Throw your sword at him. Let the man with the gun go to work.
These tin cans ain't got nothing on me.
Now for the real.
Triangle is one of his really nice moves. It takes care of enemies really quickly. Even his base triangle move takes care of enemies really quickly and effectively. Releases a really nice charged shot. Okay, you can switch to different characters depending on battle situation. You can also stick with the same character and issue orders to party allies. Okay, so up and down and left and right, you can switch your characters. And L2 and R2, you can make them do stuff. So like this, I can make Cloud do something. If he had an ATB there. So we have an ATB, now all I gotta do is tell him to do something. See, and that takes care of a lot of enemies quickly. As soon as you're out of battle, you can change to Cloud. I'm pretty sure if you do, yeah, like if you come to this and you change who's in front or on top, that'll be who you are able to run around as. I don't think you can do it yet, but I think once you get 3 people and it's later on, you can start changing who you're actually running around as. But for right now, as soon as you're out of battle, it changes back to Cloud, and that's who you have to use to run around.
Look what we have here.
A laser security system. Great.
Those things will hurt more than your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. Figure out the timing of the lasers. Then, make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
Hey!
Just keep those baby blues of yours on me.
Move around outside of battle more quickly by holding R1 or R2 to dash. Okay. Yeah, so I don't want to use the R3. Ow. If you couldn't tell, Jessie kind of low-key flirts with Cloud a lot. She drops a lot of little flirty hints and stuff throughout the entire game. It's nice, but at the same time, it can get weird because of some of the stuff, because of Cloud's personality. He kinda doesn't know what to say, know what to do about it. Those lasers always were a problem. We're coming up on a decent battle here soon, so I'll be able to show off a little bit more.
They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you like to forward them first.
We're gonna immediately come back this way and make sure I get this chest.
We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
Okay, so you gotta hit this thing with any kind of magic works, but lightning would probably be preferred. Hitting enemies with certain attacks or dealing large amounts of damage will temporarily knock it off balance, and pressure will appear underneath their gauge. When this happens, pelt them with spells and abilities to quickly fill their stagger gauge under the life bar. Once it is full, you can stagger them. The gauge fills faster depending on the abilities or magic used, as well as the foe's vulnerabilities. Find the most effective attack to quickly finish off each enemy. So, of course, it's
Give it all you've got.
a Machina, so it would be, yeah, like thunder. Barrett has thunder, so we'd want to use thunder on this. Go ahead and do this. Now that it's staggered, enemies who have been staggered are defenseless and take more damage. Using unique abilities on a staggered foe will quickly boost your ATB gauge. Boost your ATB gauge quickly so you can unleash more abilities and spells.
Now's our chance. Go.
Don't need to tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Okay, Braver.
I see.
These fights in the beginning have a decent difficulty to them. They're not too bad. They kinda are a decent difficulty to get you into the feel of everything.
Soldier first class.
What the hell are you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Guess that make you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
So right now Barrett's just trying to find out more about Cloud and his soldier identity. Because for those that didn't know, he used to be a soldier, which is
That's our target. The reactor.
Shinra's
Gotta
kind
set the bomb
of
at the bar.
army. They're soldiers, but Cloud was one of the best soldiers of his class or time, whichever it would be classified as. So they kind of want to know as much as they can, but he states something later when Barrett says something to him about having a soldier with him. He makes sure they know, like, I'm not a soldier.
More like excited. I've been dreaming about this for years.
Heads up, boys. You're in sight. Maybe the rest in your capable hands. Good luck. Not that way. Down the ladder, dummy.
Yeah, see, so sometimes they won't even let you go off and explore. You have to know exactly where you want to go, what you want to do. Ow.
Don't overdo it.
Abilities, focus shot. Okay, take that out. So right there, you've seen a little bit of me changing and switching between characters to make use of the most of what I could.
We think we're down to the bar.
at the beginning, it's not that much of a, let me use this skill, let me use this skill. It's more of a mash this, mash that kind of thing. But as you start to get more stuff, you'll get skills that you can use and stuff like that. And against different enemies, that will depend on what you want to use or how you want to fight. It's not always going to be just press square, triangle to change, stuff like that.
All right, let's see if Little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds.
What he means by that is because I grew up in Soldier. Basically, he wants to see if I can turn against the people that raised me and made me what I am. So Barrett wants to make sure that I'm gonna follow through and do the job that he's paying me to do. That's a very bad symbol for him. It's a vision flashback kind of thing. But the black feather symbolizes something for him that is like a evil destruction kind of thing for him. Okay. Now right here, if you go for the 30 minutes, okay, you have more time to make it out. But if you're good enough to go for the 20 minutes, that's what you want to do because you get a bonus for being brave enough.
Pretty cocky, ain't you?
Right there, he said something about it, but you'll get a bonus later. You'll get some special stuff for being able to be brave enough to get it done in the time it needs to be done.
Heads up.
Right there, Barrett thinks he turned against him, and that's what this was. He thinks that he told them about something. Ow. Okay, this is telling me about spells, cure obviously, and potions, because I do need to do something.
No other option, huh? Should I be worried?
Okay, now let's go ahead. Restore a small amount of HP. Restores 350 HP. We'll go ahead and try Cure and see how much that does. Okay, so that did pretty much the same amount. So, for right now, go ahead and use potions, because they may not be the most effective, but it'll save the magic for, like, thunder and everything. Some enemies will occasionally bind your party members with unblockable attacks. If your character is bound and unable to act, quickly switch to a different character. So, we can do that because Cloud was bound. So, let's go ahead and spell Thunder. And then do this again.
Thought you were full of shit.
Think whatever you want. Just do it.
Let's go ahead and use this again.
Hell yeah! You see the damage that did?
And then we'll go to Cloud. Potion. Use a potion on Cloud. Ow. And then
If I healed up.
potion on myself. There are some moves you do not want to be caught by.
A barrier? Never seen this defense system before.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your brilliant plan, genius?
Okay, now jump out of the way. Use a potion.
Or go down in flames.
Why you gotta pick on me? If we don't change it up soon, this thing's gonna kill us both.
Less talking, more shooting.
How about less bits from you? Damn it!
It wouldn't be much of a weapon if it went down easy.
Don't compliment the giant scorpion!
Okay. We'll use this one. On the field generator.
Don't just stand there. Help me out there.
Okay, and because this is his weak spot, it does a lot better damage.
You good?
And it'll help take down this thing.
You'd actually try to help me out.
Okay, if you can get behind it and use like something like this right here. If we use thunder on the field generator.
It didn't work.
You gotta be able to take down this field generator to do some damage to it. This can be a really hurtful attack, so make sure you block.
Care about a few cuts and bruises, 'cause I don't.
Now's our chance. Give it everything you
Use
got.
overcharge. Ow. Ability spells. Then use thunder again. Try and just do as much damage as you can as quickly as you can while it's like this. See, I'm out of MP finally. And that's okay, I guess. We'll use focus shot. And then we'll click this to use fire on him. Ow.
I'm putting an end to this shit. Enough with all the barriers.
Right here, let's see if we can bring him down.
You ain't stopping us. Bring it in.
Ow. Okay, use cloud to give me another potion. Okay, while I still do try and still do a lot of damage on his weak spot abilities. Try and do another focus shot. When it's red like that, it means it will be breaking soon.
What are you doing? Now, hit it hard and fast.
Oh, you ain't doing now.
Just shoot.
Spells thunder on him. Use another potion really quick on Clown.
Gotta heal up. Keep it together.
When this about reaches you, just make sure you block attacks. We'll go ahead and use a steel skin right quick, make his defense a little better. This is one of the fights where you can't really do too much against him just yet, because even though he's staggered, he's gonna not take too much damage, and he's not gonna fully get stunned.
You don't want to be hit by that laser.
Huh? So, what do we do?
Don't get hit. Take cover behind that debris.
Wanna just kinda wait. Overcharge.
It's wide open. Gonna light it up.
Abilities, focus shot, change to him. Focus thrust, change back again. Now that he's staggered, we want to change back to Clown.
Gotta memorize the attack.
You can use triangle to charge up this, but let's go ahead, no, let's use a potion. Unbear it and then block. Okay, now attack again. overcharge. And staggering enemies fills your limit gauge. When your gauge is full, you can use limit breaks, which are extremely powerful attacks. You do not need to spend ATB charges to use these attacks. This is where the ultimate attacks end up coming in. You can do this. And then while he's doing that, switch to Cloud and make sure that you can get even more damage. Braver. Focus thrust. It's nice to try and...
I see it.
Then take cover already.
It's nice to try and pull off multiple abilities at one time, so that you can actually do a lot of damage very quickly.
Heal up and regroup. Don't overdo it.
Focus shot. Okay, now we can go ahead and
Find an opening.
now he's gonna use a big move. And now I'm gonna run up and use Cloud's
Damn it.
ultimate.
We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
Let's just go on the main thing.
Gotta time our attack just right. Hold out until you spot an opening.
Braver. See, he interrupted that attack, which was not okay.
Don't let up.
Now, focus thrust.
It's down. Rain hell on it.
Ain't gotta tell me twice.
There we go, and that has been beat. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but, I mean, it does get easier over time. Even when you go on the hard mode, it gets easier because even though you're on hard mode, you have the skills and everything like that now.
Shit, the bomb!
20 minutes until detonation.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
Come on, we've gotta move.
Okay, now it's time to get out of here because this is a time thing. The quicker you get out of here, the better. There should be almost no reason to fail this and not get out. I mean, maybe you end up not making it. There shouldn't be a reason you don't, just because 19 minutes should be way more than enough to, even if you want to do what I'm doing, do all the fights, get all the experience you can, and still make it out of here, you should be able to. It's not that difficult. The only thing you might have trouble with is a little bit later on when you fight a sweeper again. You fight another sweeper, I'm pretty sure. 1 second. As you can see, I can skip whatever I want really if I wanted, but I'm not going to just because.
My hair!
Hey! We'll link up over there! Look after Jesse!
Come this way! This route should lead us straight to Barry. Probably.
Go down the ladder. Thank you, clown. Jesus. Okay, yeah, there is gonna be stuff you're probably gonna want to stop and grab, just because it's nice to have for later. Even though it's not the best of items, it's still nice to have the stuff. But I'm going to do pretty much every fight I can as I can do it. Like later on when we get the battle simulation things, I'll do them, show y'all how those are done and stuff like that.
Have it your way.
I love how Barrett's able to climb the ladder really quickly even though he can only use one arm because his other arm is a gun arm. It's kind of cool that he can still climb up really fast.
I've got you covered! Find us the way out of here!
Don't worry, I got Soldier Boy with
Don't
me.
worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
That was the comment I was talking about.
Soldier Boy.
They're here! Take them down! You don't have time for this shit! The clock's ticking!
Cool. 5 seconds is all we need.
See, combat's not too hard to be able to do and still get out of here. It's decent, but I really like some of the combos and moves and shit you get later. Yeah, see, like this thing poses a little bit more of a threat than normal enemies. This is what will take some of your time. You cannot counterattack those, which is... Okay, now focus thrust. Focus thrust. Focus thrust is probably one of your best moves for right now that you have until you get more moves and are able to upgrade stuff. Let's go ahead and use Barrett, focus shot. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing I just did with this. And Braver. And then let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll do another focus. Take that out really quickly. Do this, do this. Heal my characters up really quickly. Right here, we're about to get a different Form 1. I'm pretty sure because I think up here or so there's not a way to get out. So they force you to fight something and find a different way out. Can't do anything like that. Ow. Asshole.
No time to celebrate.
And yes, so everyone is aware, my channel will not be completely kid-friendly. I will use profanity, but that's just because, to me, profanity is not one of those big things that's bad. I mean, it's kind of a way of expressing yourself. And it's not like I'm going to use a lot of profanity. I'll try and keep it to a minimum, but there will be times where it's just natural. Okay, now these things pose a little bit of a threat because they can dodge a lot. So you use Punisher mode and block so that you can do an automatic counterattack. That'll take care of them.
Sure you can.
I'm gonna look around a lot because I really don't want to miss anything. Focus thrust. That's not what we wanted. That's not what we wanted. Thank you. Ow. Barrett needs to take out one of these things. This one.
Don't overdo it.
Yes, it's my turn.
Okay. Whenever you're not in battle, it's best to use potions. Don't really use your cures and stuff because that's going to take your MP, and it's nicer to have MP for when you're in battle because it's a lot more tedious to try and use a potion in battle and stuff. Yeah, it stops combat for a second, but it's a lot better to use other stuff like spells and stuff like that in battle rather than potions. As you can see, we made it out in time.
Sir.
Now right there, as you can tell, that was not supposed to happen. The bomb that they had was not supposed to make that much damage. As you can see, it was just supposed to destroy the main reactor a little bit. It wasn't supposed to destroy that entire place. You've already been through here, so you don't need to worry about trying to search for any treasure or anything like that.
Can you walk?
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
It's actually kind of tedious and hard for me not to voice line this whole game and say what they're saying because I love the entire gameplay of this game and what they say and everything like that. And I've kind of learned the entire game, all the dialogue, everything. That, what's happening right now, was not supposed to happen. As you can tell, Shinra did that. They're the ones that made that happen. It was just supposed to be a little explosion, nothing major like that. Use curative item spells to replenish HP. Taking a break at rest spots will also fully recover HP and MP. So rest spots are some of your best friends in normal and hard mode.
And with nothing but a few scratches to show. Think you might have overdone it.
I followed the instructions to the letter. Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Marco?
Well, let's hope the city's still in one piece.
But the planet's what matters, right? I mean, this must have helped some.
After all that, it had better have. Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
All right then, lead the way.
You got it.
Okay,
Watch
nope.
out for live wires.
First.
They're everywhere.
The air in here reeks. Can't wait to get out in the open. Man, what is that? I've never smelled anything so foul. Oh, it's me. Gotta do something about that. I'm seeing it.
It's one of the parts about this game I love is the comic relief. The lines of dialogue get pretty funny and everything like that.
I felt that one in my guts.
They just keep on coming.
We need to get out of this place.
Was it the narco density? The primary explosive? The blasting agent?
Hey, we can figure that out later.
That's where Jesse's trying to figure out where her bomb went wrong. What happened to make it such a big explosion, because it wasn't supposed to be like that, and you'll understand more of that here in a few minutes. They'll show you something about it.
How much farther do we have to go?
Not far. That's about as good a place as any.
Stand back then. I'll set the bomb.
You see, she's got another one of the bombs that she's gonna set.
Can't wait to take a hot shower.
She's good to go.
This will show you how big that explosion was supposed to be and how much damage it should have did. That was it. It should not have been any bigger than that.
You should pull those doors.
Let that be a lesson to anything that gets in my way.
And now we're pretty much done with all of the battling and stuff like that for a minute. We'll be walking around, traveling.
Multiple explosions have been confirmed, as well as ongoing fire. In response, a disaster warning has been issued in sectors 1 and 8. Structures in the area are a hazard of collapse, rendering the entire sector hazardous. Therefore, all buildings
No way.
This couldn't have been us, could it?
But what if it was?
See, now they're all worried about.
Merc's right. It ain't pretty, but we can't stop now. This is just the first reactor, and the planet won't be safe till we get the rest.
This is where Barrett's a little cold-hearted,
This was gonna get messy.
because I mean, it's kinda wrong.
It's only the beginning.
Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice. Though you may not be crying out, I know you're in pain, just like the planet. But it's okay, cause I'm here for you, to help take the load off your shoulders. Your fears, your worries, your concerns, and yes, your feelings. Whatever your problem, I got you.
So, what's our next move, boss?
That's easy enough. We get our asses home.
But that was where Barrett was kind of cold-hearted, because they don't realize exactly how much damage they just did. Well, they didn't technically do it, but they don't realize how much damage was just done. And for him saying, oh, well, everything worth fighting for comes with a sacrifice. Yes, that's true, but this is way too much sacrifice for more than what he thought it would be. It shouldn't have been this much sacrifice. I mean, there's way too much destruction, people losing their lives, stuff like that.
I don't need to tell you what this is, right?
Of course not. It's healing material.
You can have it for saving my life.
Just doing my job. Nothing more.
Yeah. Fact is, I'm lucky you were there.
Survival can be a matter of luck or skill. You can't rely on luck.
Words to live by.
It's basically Cloud telling them they need to get a little bit better.
You do know what I was, right?
That's funny right there, because she doesn't understand that soldiers are made for using materia. It's one of their beginning trainings. They learn how to use materia and stuff. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the tutorial so you guys can see. You can set materia to weapons and armor through materia and equipment. Okay, press triangle to set. The slots in the top row are for your weapon and the bottom for your armor. Select an empty materia slot and press X. Select the healing materia from the list, press X. Materia set to your equipment allows you to use new spells and abilities and also boost your stats. Find a combination that works best for your battle strategy. So later on, once you start getting a lot more materia, there will be ways to set them up and link them together, and like the old one.
Something extra for being so brave. That really was the ride of a lifetime.
This is what I meant. You get a bottle of ether and 2 potions. Those you get for being doing the 20-minute timer instead of the 30-minute timer, which is what you get. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still nice to know, like, hey, those are secret items that you could just miss and never end up getting. I'm gonna go ahead and run through here. Let you guys hear some of these dialogue just so you can see exactly how much damage we just did to this place, basically.
We head to the station. Then we take the train to your sisters.
Actually, really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can make this a little better for people. Speech volume. Let's drop this to 8. Let's drop this to 8. The music's nice and all. It's nice to hear. Yeah, so right here they're trying to make you feel the impact of what you just did. They're trying to make you understand, like, you're kind of the bad guy in this scenario because you just took away everything from these people. See, like, even the kids, like, you destroyed that little girl's house. Like, she's shaking, she's freaking out because of what just happened. So they're trying to make you understand, like, these are people. They're not just things you can throw away. Like Avalanche thinks, oh well, we'll sacrifice, but they kind of don't understand that all these people have houses and families and daily lives that this just kind of impacted a lot.
This could collapse at any moment. If you want out, you'll have to use those stairs.
They did really good at making so much stuff. Like, oh, yeah, like, see, his baby brother's missing, and that's one of those things, it's like, I could have just, because of what we just did, but we could have potentially made this person lose their mom and now their baby brother.
It's okay. You're safe now. Got a patient with me. How's trouble walking? Need a stretcher. ASAP. We'll get you to a doctor soon. Hang in there.
See, it shows you all these people, like, are damaged. Like, there's a bunch of people that were hurt and everything else through this. It's not just the fact that, like, oh, like the original, oh, well, you just did this and it didn't have that big of an impact and blah, blah, blah. No, this, it shows you, like, this is a big, big impact on this world. Or shouldn't say the world, I guess, this town. I'm waiting to get out into the world with the next one. Like these people, that dude almost gets crushed by a sign, and that's because of what you do. So the soldiers rush over to help him and make sure people are okay. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's just, oh, these people are hurt, their lives are ruined, and everything like that. Right here.
If you can, give us a sign. Got someone in need of medical attention. Send a stretcher. Don't worry. We'll get you looked at soon enough. Pretty sure the guys in Sector 7 are on their way. Once they get here, could you... Exactly. Thanks.
Like, they already know what to do.
Look at all this.
I mean, they kind of do a great job at trying to show you, like, hey, you kind of just messed up these people's homes and everything like that. This is a big scene in the game because this does not happen in the original. And it was kind of the biggest surprises for everybody that this happened so early on. I'm sure everybody knows who that is. He's a big talking point right now because of just coming out in Super Smash Bros. And everything like that. And being one of the biggest enemies in Kingdom Hearts. But this was the first time in, like, Final Fantasy that they showed off Sephiroth this early on.
It couldn't be. But then...
So, as you can see, the bridge is still there for this place, but some of these buildings, like those buildings and stuff, are not meant to be here. This is a vision of Cloud's. It's showing us his hometown, Nibelheim, that stuff happened to, which that's explained later and or in the original game. If you played or watched, you understand what exactly happened to Nibelheim, Cloud's hometown.
Wait. You're not real. You're dead.
I
killed you with my own...
Oh, you need not remind me. It was the crowning moment.
See, this is where he's talking about the original Final Fantasy VII.
I have a favor to ask. Our beloved planet is dying. Slowly. Silently.
This is technically the Sephiroth that came
Bear to see the planet
back
suffer.
to fix his mistakes. Because as you can tell right there, Cloud killed him.
Were the planet to die, so many things would be lost. Your hometown burns so bright. The sound of her voice, bleeding from despair. The shiver of her flesh yielding to cold steel.
And if you haven't caught on by now, Sephiroth kinda burned down his entire hometown, killed his mother, everything.
To live in such a world, which is why I must ask you this one favor. Don't worry, it's a simple thing. Run, Cloud. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
Honestly, to me, right there, he sounds like Scar from The Lion King. That one line makes him sound like Scar when he's talking to Simba, telling him to run away and never return.
Hold on to that hatred.
That's always reminded me of that part in Lion King. Because that's just what it sounds like.
I'm seeing things. Fumes from all the Mako, maybe. Alright. You got this.
Now, I can't remember if there's anything secret back this way, but I'm going to check. Oh, never mind. You can't even go back that way. But... so he thinks he's hallucinating at the moment, but you find out that that's not really the case.
No, not again. Please, no.
1 second later. I'm over the debris in the station's right there. Please, for God's sake, please.
See, there's more people talking about their lives being messed up. If you come back here, you get a little bit of a secret. And say you come all the way back. There's kids right here. And that dialogue is kind of what makes you like, oh wow. Because, I mean, you kind of realize that these kids are now all on their own. They don't even know if their mom's alive. They don't know if they have anybody left for them.
Please leave your residences at once. I repeat. This is an alert from the Simba Emergency Operations Center. An evacuation order has been issued to the occupants of buildings in the vicinity of the Sector 8 Express. The explosion at the reactor.
That's what happened to the reactor, not what we did.
It is not safe to remain indoors. Please leave your residences at
I should
once.
have never said I wanted to come up here.
It's okay.
This is an alert from the Simba Emergency Operations Center.
See, everybody's kind of reflecting on stuff. Yeah, so Midgar kind of...
We want to get our toys. Not now. I'm sorry. But we can get them later, right?
Sure you can. After this is all over.
Their mother and father just trying to make sure their kids are okay after all this.
You stay together.
Yeah, together. I don't want to leave without you. Me too. I'm staying.
The explosions at the reactor have caused numerous ongoing fires.
The station? We'll take that fire escape. We'll put you right on the street.
See, like, that chest right there? If you're just running, you'd miss it. You'd never even see it. You've got to actually look around, and it gives you 3 potions. It's kind of nice for when you don't have MP for cure, stuff like that. Pretty much this is still basically an introduction to the game and what's happening.
How do they expect us to evacuate?
Okay, so now we're gonna start getting into a little bit of the meat of the game, the beginning at least. There's a purple materia right there, but you're not able to access that just yet. So you want to come, pretty much just look around, see if you can find any treasures or anything that you might want to grab up before you continue on. Because once you reach the end of this street, I'm pretty sure you can already see her. There's gonna be a major scene and everything like that, and it's kind of gonna explain a little bit about how she knows what's going on. Because Cloud and Tifa and Barrett and all them, they know nothing of what's going on right now. They don't know why this is all playing out this way.
You are too weak to save anyone.
That he's referring to the original, obviously.
Are you okay? Hey, are you okay?
But he's just kind of freaking out because of these visions and stuff.
Here, this is for you.
Huh? A flower?
That's right. It's a gift. You know, for scaring those things away.
What things?
Never mind. Think of it as a memento.
Just my luck.
I heard that, you know.
Okay, so this was explained, well, wasn't explained at all in the original game. This really never happened. But this choice right here does matter, and if you've played the original game, you understand why. Because later, when you reach a certain area, you're allowed to pick one of like 3 or 4 different people to basically go on a date with. But you've got to have their affection high enough, you've got to pick the right choices, stuff like that. So right here, you wouldn't want to say, I'm good, just because, I mean, that's kind of a asshole-ish move. But if you don't want a good relationship with Aerith, then that's what you choose. Most times you go with how much
Well, that depends on
build
the
your rep
customer.
with her.
In your case, it's on the house.
Huh?
Lovers used to get these when they were reunited.
Look,
And I
I'm
think
involved in things.
for about the rest of the
Dangerous
game, you
things.
have that flower.
Oh, I'm sure you are. So?
So keep your distance.
Wait, you think someone's out to get you? Is that what you're all worked up about? Relax. No one's going to attack you. I promise.
Hey, a Mako reactor just blew. You shouldn't be out here trying to self...
He can't see these things yet.
Help me!
Until now. I don't know what it was about her that triggered it. But, yeah. But, so now he's able to see these things, and he kind of knows, like, hey, there's some weird spirit-like things attacking her. But he doesn't realize that nobody else can see him.
Wait!
Nice meeting you!
We're gonna go ahead and do this battle.
Sword on the ground! Right now!
Yep. That's not gonna happen. Sorry about your luck.
Let's go.
Okay, that's all of them defeated. Okay, so for right now, that's where we're gonna leave this. I will upload the second part probably in a little bit after this part, because I'm not somebody that can just play a little bit of this game and then wait until tomorrow to upload another video, and so I'll be playing literally immediately after this. I'll be playing more and recording that and putting it on. But as of right now, I will stop this and I will come back to it later. I hope you all have a great day. See you in the next video.